this week, of course, is the development that Arsenal have made a bid for Ollie Watkins. Aston Villa turned it down. Unai Emery, by the way, obviously, was asked about this and about the future of the England international. This is what he had to say about Ollie Watkins. He's happy to stay. He appreciates a lot how Aston Villa were always supporting him, helping him, and when we arrived here 2 years ago, how we worked with him, always trying to get the best from him. Now we need him like he needed Aston Villa. Kieran, how embarrassing is it that Arsenal are in a situation with days to go in the January transfer window? They've now decided to wake up and get a striker, something, of course, they could have done last summer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit disappointed that they didn't try and go for this a little bit earlier, especially with John Duran leaving. I also like the bit of guilt tripping from Unai Emery there about Ollie Watkins, knowing full well that, you know, Arsenal's a dream move for a player like Ollie Watkins. We've known that over the last few years. I like the signing of Ollie Watkins in the sense that it improves.
Yeah, that signing's not happening. This isn't the discussion, Kieran. The discussion is Arsenal completely dropped the ball in that they put all their eggs in this Kai Havertz basket, which is just emptied out all over the floor, and their title challenge is at stake because they never dealt with this striker situation.
Yeah, they definitely should have dealt with this earlier on in the window, that's for sure. And I honestly think that if Nwaneri had been out for longer, they probably would have been a little bit more aggressive. If Nwaneri had been out, I think that the supply for the front line would have dropped significantly. And I think that now that he's back, I think he's not a like for like for Saka, but I think that he has enough in his armour to be able to provide the likes of Havertz and Martinelli chances to score. That being said, I still think that Arsenal definitely, should have been a bit more aggressive this window. But I have to say, Nwaneri has surprised me to the point where I think that he has the ability and the poise to actually help Arsenal achieve something this season.
But I take your point, but the big problem for Arsenal has not been, they of course they've missed Saka. It's not really, some games have gone a bit flat, but it's not been the supply, it's been the finish. Because to tempt away a club that's in the Champions League, a club with a very good manager, recently new, a club who are still a very strong side in the Premier League, to tempt away their main number 9, you don't do that in the last couple of days of the transfer window, and you don't do it for buttons. So I think this is Arteta and Arsenal saying, fans get, if Havertz is struggling and Arsenal fall off the pace and Liverpool go on and run away and win the league, and they're all moaning saying, we should have signed a striker. He'll say, we tried to get Ollie Watkins, but they haven't really, have they? This is an appeasement of the fans by saying, we tried, Villa wouldn't sell, this is what we're left with. That's how I see this.
Nothing about this makes sense. From either team.
The show in general?
Well, a little bit of sense. Sure, it makes a little bit of sense. but the from either team, in all honesty. No, I'm totally with Craig here. Why you lodge a last-minute bid as you do in the hope of prying away a striker from a team that are through to the knockout stage, in the top 8 knockout stage of the Champions League? It just makes zero sense. Why you bid 60 million when his backup goes, okay, yes, Saudi Arabia kind of distorts values, but his backup goes for 75 million, even more with add-ons. How does 60 million all of a sudden become a sensible valuation or a bid that Aston Villa would accept? And then you do that, and it's announced as late as it is, knowing full well that it's not going to get over the line, knowing full well that you probably have Kai Havertz, who's going to have to play that position as he has all season long, feeling even further diminished. The one thing Kai Havertz could have counted on was Mikel Arteta, was the backing of Mikel Arteta. Now he's not so sure about that either. So from an Arsenal side, it makes no sense. From an Aston Villa, it was easy to dismiss. So whoever decided to leak this or whatever it was, it's just got this so awfully wrong.
Do you start chasing like Matthias Tell? Do you do something like that? He obviously turned down Spurs today, according to reports.
But he doesn't play in the Bayern side.
Yeah.